Should we buy or sell platinum? First off, read this disclaimer carefully. And do your good deed of today by liking and subscribing. So, here are the natural resources, and platinum is a precious metal. It's very important to be aware that there are many people who do not consider silver to be a precious metal, because that's something I hear a lot, from the people who have, big amounts of money. So I do think it's very important to just bear that in mind, because many people, they like to buy physical silver because they can buy a lot more than if they buy gold or platinum. But I would rather do more of what the most powerful people do, because if we do get, a shit hit the fan scenario, it very well might be that I would be shocked if the elites do not set the agenda, and that would mean that gold and platinum will be the real precious metals. Okay, so here we have 14.46% here from the 52-week low for platinum, minus 20% away from the highs, so the very definition of a bear market. The platinum ETF is called, well, it has the ticker PPLT. So I will analyze the futures, the platinum futures, but I will also look at the correlation with the platinum ETF. So here we have the futures market, and we have a gargantuan, massive, huge, fat, rounding bottom pattern. That is a bullish technical pattern for all intents and purposes. We had this capitulation low here during the lockdown, and then we have seen this nice rally. Then we pull back here to the red 200-week moving average. Very clean, nice support level. A beautiful time to buy the platinum futures or the ETF or the physical stuff. And then it's been going up, but pulling back a bit recently. But these kinds of pullbacks, they do happen. Hopefully, the bulls will come in here and help out around, well, ideally here, but also potentially towards the blue 100-week moving average. It could be that we go down again and test the 200-week moving average in red, but it's dangerous when you test too many times. Here we test 2 times, get a rally. Here we test 1, 2, 3, 4 times, 5, 6. It starts to get dangerous because it shows that there is support at that level, but not as strong as it used to be. Looking at the daily data points, you could make a very strong case that we have turned a key resistance level to support. So here you see the red 200-day moving average, resistance, 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 merciless resistance here, just a plethora of resistance. But we have now been able to get above it. So what was once resistance has most likely become support. That's bullish. And when we look back here, you do see that the 200-day moving average, it can be some very decent support and a nice time to buy platinum. So yeah, now let's look at these other indicators. So yeah, in terms of the RSI here, we are in the neutral territory. Also in terms of the PPOs, looking at the daily data points, pretty similar message. So let's go to the laboratory. So in terms of the line in the sand, I do say 200 daily moving average support. It should hold as a support. There is a danger if we lose it that we go down to test the 200-week moving average, but as I said, it is very dangerous to keep testing support levels. So the bulls, they need to act, basically now. In terms of the technicals, I do think I can give this one to the bulls. Yeah, let me give them a 3. It's decent, but could be much better. Then we go to seasonality. Looking here to the right, so yeah, we do have over the last 10 years, Usually a bit weak, unfortunately. Over the last 7 years, usually weakens towards early April, then we see some strength. Looking to the left, we do see over the last 5 years, March is weak, but April is strong. The last 10 years, weak March, strong April. And then over the last 20 years, we do see that April is one of the stronger months, closing higher 58% of the time. When we look at the average performance here to the right, we do see that the weakness usually extends here towards early April. Yeah. But then you do see that the strength comes quickly. The problem is that the moving average crew, they desperately need support at the 200 moving average now. They can't wait for April. So this is a bit of a messy situation because the seasonality is pretty clear. This month, March, and we are still in March, it's a weak month. So even though April is strong, I must give this one a bit here to the bears. So I do think I will give the bears here. Yeah, what should I give them? Maybe give them a -3 actually. Which effectively cancels the strength they got from the technicals. In terms of the fundamentals here for platinum, it's a very messy territory to get into. So I think I will skip over the fundamentals because that could just be an hour just talking about the fundamentals, and it's very difficult to give scores. Because the data you need to calculate fundamentals for commodities, that is to be found in like Bloomberg terminals and yeah, very premium tools. Long term, we do have a 70% correlation with the S&P 500. We have 99.8% correlation with PPLT. So there's almost perfect correlation between platinum futures and the ETF. So that's great. It means that you can use the ETF to trade platinum. So yeah, it tracks platinum well. 43% with the gold, and then we have -72% with the dollar index. Short term, we do have -36 with SPY, perfect almost with platinum ETF, and then we have 70% with gold. Then we have only 24% here with the dollar index. So looking long term and short term, the strongest correlation we do get is with gold. So let's have a bit of a look at GC, which is the gold futures. So here we have gold. So let's go here to the weekly data points. So what is very unfortunate, that is this. Let me just draw that in. So gold got very ambitious, we had, conflict, and then we tried to get above here, but we failed. That is not good. You do not want to try to break out when you are not ready. That's effectively what happened here. The bulls got very, very ambitious. I really hoped they would not do this, but they did it. This is a very ugly reversal candlestick. Yeah. Also, it was here on the upper end of RSI. If we go here to the daily data points, let's look here a bit at MACD. Yeah, we got like an extreme MACD reading that has spelled, pullback before. Yeah. So yeah, that was very unfortunate because gold has spent so much time, being patient, building the opportunity to have a very clean cup and handle pattern, which is very long-term bullish. But yeah, my primary concern here for gold is that unless it gets a major catalyst, it could spend a lot of time goofing around, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Yeah. So here we have the relationship between platinum and gold. You do see that the platinum has been weakening against the gold ever since May 2008. There was the potentiality here of an inverse head and shoulders pattern. So you had a shoulder, you had a head, and you could have formed the right shoulder like this and gone up nicely. But that inverse head and shoulders pattern, it failed. And so it's not really that valid anymore. If we go here to the daily data points, the latest price action since February 2021, it basically confirms the longer-term downtrend in this pair. Looking at the seasonality here, over the last 10 years, we usually see weakening of platinum vis-a-vis gold heading towards July. Over the last 7 years, it usually actually strengthens a bit. Over the last 5 years, we usually see some strength. So, in terms of relative performance, so platinum has for a long time been underperforming gold. It could, however, be that, the big technical mistake, the gold bulls did, they tried too much too early, that could potentially benefit platinum. And given that the seasonality for platinum, at least more shorter term, in the platinum gold pair is a bit bullish, I think I might lean a bit bullish here, actually. So let me just give the bulls a 2 here. So we do end up with a very mild score of 0.7. So the data is, it's more bullish than bearish for platinum. A key part of the bullish thesis is 200 daily moving average support. It's a big deal that the bulls get back up soon. The problem for the bulls is that the seasonality is weak for the current month, and this is the month they need support. It is of course possible that we will get some kind of moving average support in April, which usually was a stronger month. But that's April. That's a different month altogether. And we do not know how the chart will look then. So yeah, I think there's more reasons here to be bullish than bearish. Platinum is a very interesting commodity because it's like a super precious metal. So if you want to move very valuable things more lightly, then yeah, store it in platinum. And that's a way you can flex as well, if you talk to, silver stackers, they have, the gold stackers flexing towards them. And then you can talk to, the gold stackers and flex with your, stack of platinum. In terms of, precious metals going forward, I do think it's prudent to really consider the physical stuff. Because strength in precious metals will be interpreted in the current context as a down vote for the US dollar. I do think that if we do get a very strong move in precious metals, then we seriously could see ETFs and futures either delisted or severely limited in who can trade them. Probably based around some argument that the precious metals are manipulated to hurt the US dollar. Whatever you do, of course, you want to be market neutral and use stops. And you can get VIP access here on DiamondArm.com and get because that's where I have a bunch of the educational content. When it comes to these kinds of videos, then I can't go into detail about how moving averages work and why I use these indicators instead of other indicators, and all of those things are explained on DiamondArm through if you just subscribe to VIP access. It is pretty cheap. There are some people, of course, who want it to be cheaper, but If you find services that are very cheap, then there's probably is a good reason why it is cheap. It's same thing if you buy a watch. You know, you can buy very cheap watches, but there's a reason why they are cheap. You know, same thing with cars and everything else out there in the world. Like you can go have a burger at McDonald's, or you could go to a more premium establishment. It's always like that. And the difference will be, of course, price and also what you get.